TiMax panLab adds 3D spatial audio rendering capabilities to hardware and software solutions you already own. In this video, we're going to explore our QLab integration. We will walk you through connecting TiMax panLab to a QLab workspace, adding speakers, QLab cues, and creating movement trajectories. In this video, we assume you have knowledge of the TiMax panLab spatial algorithm, either through watching the spatial algorithm video or through previous use of panLab 3 or panLab console. TiMax panLab allows you to spatialize any number of QLab audio or mic cues across any number of QLab cue outputs. QLab cues become objects on the panner, and QLab cue outputs become loudspeakers. To get started, we need to connect TiMax panLab to QLab. TiMax panLab and QLab do not need to reside on the same computer. They simply need to be on the same local area network. TiMax panLab should automatically discover any open QLab workspaces on the network. Simply select the workspace you want to connect to, enter the workspace passcode, and connect. First, we need to map QLab cue outputs to loudspeakers on our panner. We do this in the Speaker Manager. Our new TiMax panLab file has been pre-populated with a stack and a zone, so we can simply click the Add Speaker button to add speakers to our pre-existing zone. TiMax panLab pulls QLab cue output names from QLab. The first available QLab cue output name will be assigned to our first loudspeaker. If we need to, we can select different outputs from this drop-down list. Loudspeakers and QLab cue outputs are linked by their name, so you need to make sure names listed here always match output names in QLab. Let's add a second height zone to demonstrate the 3D algorithm. We will add our height loudspeakers to this zone. To more accurately position our loudspeakers, we can add a backing image to the panner. We can achieve this from the File Settings window. Any image files will work, but ideally the file will have a square aspect ratio so it perfectly fills the panner. Next, we can go back to the panner, ready to position our speakers. Make sure to have the Speaker tab selected in the left-hand panel. Where a speaker has not yet been positioned on the panner, you will see this icon next to the speaker's name. Simply drag and drop all your loudspeakers onto the panner. To rotate the camera position, simply click on any empty space on the panner and drag the mouse. When the background turns from black to grey, you can move objects on the height axis. Let's click on one of our height speakers and move it upwards. All speakers within a zone reside at the same height position, so all 4 loudspeakers in our height zone will move up together. We can click on this button to reset the camera to the default position. There are multiple ways of adding QLab cues to the TiMax panLab panner. If TiMax panLab and QLab reside on the same computer, the easiest solution is to simply drag and drop the cue from QLab into TiMax panLab. If the 2 pieces of software reside on different computers, or if the cue is already in the panner and you simply want to access it, we can fetch the cues via cue selection. Select the relevant cues in QLab, then click the Fetch Selected Cues button in TiMax panLab. Any cues already contained in the TiMax panLab file will be displayed in the panner. Where a cue has not yet been added, you'll see this icon indicating you need to drag and drop it onto the panner. Finally, you will want to create movement automation as part of your spatialized sound design. We achieve this with a feature we call sequences. First, select the QLab cue you'd like to move. To indicate it is selected, a yellow halo will appear around the cue. Next, click the Add Sequence button. You'll be prompted to move the object to record the movement automation. When you release the mouse button, you'll notice that TiMax panLab prints the movement automation into QLab in the form of multiple fade cues. If you'd like this sequence to loop, simply select the Loop button in TiMax panLab. When we run the cues in QLab, you'll see that TiMax panLab tracks the object's movement in the panner. We can start and stop the sequence either from within TiMax panLab or QLab. The 2 pieces of software remain in sync. With TiMax panLab, it is now possible to work offline when not connected to a QLab workspace. Whenever changes have been made offline that need to be synced, you'll see this Sync to QLab button appear in the Connection Status window. Click the button and follow the instructions to sync data back to the connected QLab workspace.